I do hope they will. Okay, great. That brings us to Section 2, Curriculum and Instruction. Item 1, Acceptance of Donations.
If I may, I would like to thank.
You have the corrected and updated
There's a long
online
one,
version?
too.
You get the new-
Yeah,
get the
he
new,
has,
right?
he has the
Yes.
online version.
I
so
have the
that's
online
correct.
version, and I will say this with haste. I would like to thank the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, the Rotary Club of Daly City, Life Touch National School Studios, Chevy's Restaurant Fundraising, Scholarship America, Hillside Homeowners Improvement Association, Lina Fawcett, Wells Fargo Community Support Campaign, Save Mart Supermarkets, Miss Annie Sane and Miss Thet Muang, Ju Jun Wang, Guillermo Gurano, Kenneth and Raquel Gonzalez, Nelson Cunanan, Nenita Lazaro, Erica Taylor, Rochelle Valencia, Brian and Cheryl King, Yolan Wan, Roqueta Valdez, Donna Truong Nguyen, Brenda Taylor, Rose Padilla, Jennifer Tunke, Mary Ann Cosico, Melissa Ho, Luz Vimirida Sanchez, Flavia Rodriguez, Rochelle Bautista, Tessie Opilas Cruz, Norma Villazana Price, Anna Taylor, for all their donations to the schools. Once again, every penny counts. Thank you.
Also,
Was that in the form of a motion to approve those donations?
Oh, and please, a motion to approve the donations. Thank you very much.
Second that motion.
Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And that brings us, finally, thank you for your patience, to item 3, MP Brown and Westlake Elementary Single Plan for Student Achievement and Program Improvement. If you'd like to introduce them, Mr. Vidales.
Sure. So we have here two principals from MP Brown and Westlake Elementary Schools, Miss
I'd
Diane
like to
Licata.
say we're the best principals of
And-
Westlake Elementary
Yeah,
and
you,
MP.
you are,
Going to
you're
introduce
also,
yourself.
you're also my favorite principals at Margaret Building Brown and Westlake School.
Thank you, thank you.
And they're here to talk a little bit about their Year 3 program improvement efforts and some of their school restructuring plans. As the board may or may not know, all of our schools are sort of, I guess stuck is the best word, in limbo in our current program improvement status until a new accountability framework is developed by the state, which is probably 2 or 3 years away. So they will be Year 3 at least for 2 years and possibly Year 4 for at least 2 years and possibly 3. Okay.
Well, good evening. Thank you for inviting us. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, we have the opportunity of being the two schools that are in Year 4, and we see it as an opportunity to improve the learning for all our students. So we have a short presentation that will just briefly outline the process that we're going through to improve learning with the strategies that we're learning at our schools as we move into Program Improvement Year 4, which I said is really an opportunity for improving our delivery. There.
Okay. So in Program Improvement Year 4, we've had to follow some guidelines and structure. There's some choice we had, and you'll see that in a minute. But we had to definitely, obviously, notify all parents and teachers of our Program Improvement Status Year 4. A letter was sent out, the reasons why on there, why we were in Program Improvement Year 4. We involved our school site council and our English Language Advisory Committee. We met with them several times this year, and we will probably continue to meet with them. Provide school choice and supplemental educational services. So providing school choice means that in the letter that went home at the beginning of the school year, notifying all parents that we were in Program Improvement Year 4, they had an option to enroll at another school in our district that was not in Program Improvement. And we're proud to say we're still full at both our schools. And supplemental educational services, the state of California, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, the state of California has set aside a certain amount of funds within Title I, and all the schools in Program Improvement Year 2 or above we must provide tutoring services outside of our district. So we have to contract with outside agencies, and there's a list of providers that we all went through, and currently that is happening. We had to plan for an alternates governance. So we had a choice, and this was one of the options from the state of California. We could ask to go to a charter school, we could replace the staff and the principal, contract an agency to manage our school site, state takeover, and any other major restructuring. So the last part is obviously highlighted. We voted for all those with our school site council and the parents, and yes.
And so that's what happens during year 4, is that
Yes.
there's planning for an alternative governance structure. So they're planning for that, and they're looking at a major restructuring option.
Would that include, like, we have the coaches and people that come from the county Office of Education?
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
well, yeah.
That's
We'll
good.
let you know
Describe
where we're going.
All right.
Okay, so, our next slide. So how did we prepare for restructuring? First of all, we reviewed our school data in August, and we looked at the strengths and the weaknesses. We shared that with the school site council, with the ELAC, and also with our PTA. We discussed the programs that we had in place that we thought got us the results that we achieved, and how we could improve that. And we also are receiving intensive guidance from the district and the department heads, and we're also receiving guidance from the San Mateo County Office of Education. It's specifically in improving our delivery of instruction with the Common Core implementation. So basically, the Common Core standards is our foundation for how we're restructuring our schools.
Makes sense.
So, like I said, we're restructuring by preparing for the Common Core standards, and this is our big year for professional development. All of our teachers have received Common Core professional development, and happy to report that both of our schools are showing within the next few days the strategies that they are learning about in the program. And so I think it's been really effective. I think the trainers or the leaders, coaches, are taking it little bite-sized pieces, so it's in little chunks, and teachers are able to just go right into the classroom and implement the strategies. We have teacher teams that are receiving coaching from the coaches in the district, and also both of us receive individualized coaching as well. Through the County Office of Education, both of us are attending the leadership series to help us implement the Common Core standards, and that's been, I think, a monthly session. Yeah, and then next year we have the opportunity of building capacity with our leadership team to start doing walkthroughs, much like they do at Ben Franklin this year, how they've done there. So we're really excited to begin something like that.
So within our school plan, there are some highlights that we would like you to know about. We are transitioning to the Common Core, as the whole district is. We do have professional development, like Annabelle said, with the San Mateo County Office of Education district. Our site, each site, we have Wednesday early release meetings, and at times we use those for different things to kind of sneak in professional developments, and it's working out really well. We do attend the leadership series. The professional development is pretty intense this year for probably the coaches and the coordinators in charge, but it doesn't look like that for our teachers who are going. They're actually really enjoying it. They come back, like Annabelle said, and they try it. So we are moving along quite well, I would say, with the Common Core. We have, like she said, principal coaching, teacher coaching, Common Planning Time Weekly, that's the early release Wednesday. Grade level assessments and analysis are district-wide, and what's nice is that our district leaders have already planned, looked at our assessments and how we can modify them to look like Common Core questions, and how we can start to transition into those assessments. We also have extended day with tutoring in the AM and PM. AM at Annabelle School. Do you also have PM?
Yes.
AM and PM at Annabelle School in the afternoon at our site. This is, I want to stress that extended day with tutoring we're talking about, we looked at our site funding and we saved certain areas, and we're providing tutoring for those students in need. At our site, we're rotating. I'm very impressed that at Westlake, they have a 7:45,
7:30.
7:30 class, and they're showing up.
Well, what that is they're coming for Imagine Learning, so we have a lot of newcomers. They can only be on Imagine Learning for an hour a day in the school day. So I thought, gee, if they come before the school day, they can be on another half an hour. And Imagine Learning is a pilot program that the ELD department is trying out this year, and it's been really successful. It has different languages, so if you're Cantonese, it'll speak to you in Cantonese and tell you how to go through the program, and it starts with the alphabet, sounds, and vocabulary, and it's also, we're trying it with the students that are intermediate levels that have been stuck for a few years and haven't been able to become proficient, and so the research on the program shows that it's effective with those students as well. So that's why they're coming in the morning.
And every site has access to that program. Our ACES, which is the after-school programs from 3 to 6, it was restructured this year to support our non-proficient students, which means we're looking more at those students that are accepted. We first look at academic need, and of course, if they need, if they don't have anybody to go home to after school. And with that, we also have reading programs. Some are focused on reading comprehension. We have an English learner development program after school. We have a math program. So we're really supporting our students in different ways, and we'll find out as we try the Common Core, you know, where we need to really focus after that.
May I add something?
Yes.
I don't think I mentioned that the department heads come at least 4
Yes.
times throughout the year and visit classrooms with us and give us feedback, and they notice if there's been improvement and if the strategies are being used, so we're getting a lot of support in that area. So.
Great.
That's it.
Then,
Any questions? Oh, I wanted to share this.
oh, yeah.
Totally forgot, sorry. My apologies. Do you mind if I approach?
You may approach the throne.
Struck down by
So these are just some of the items that were suggested at some of our professional developments. And you'll see really how important language is for our students and being able to communicate their opinions and back it up with evidence. And that is a sample of what at MP Brown, our upper grades, we had the money, so we spent it on those 2 items that you see there. The cards, a lot of teachers already have because it's provided at the professional development in paper form. So if you go around the schools, you might see students taking out a notebook because they have it in their notebook, and they're different colors. It gives them sentence frames and the structure and how to speak. If you look at the cards, they have different symbols and different colors. And those symbols and colors stand for, at the top is the beginning English development learner, English learner, and then it's intermediate, and early intermediate is like the middle, and the bottom is supposed to be more advanced. But the children have access to all of those.
And it's also used as a support for writing. So constructing meaning is providing a template so that when students are trying to capture their ideas, it's organized in a systematic fashion, and they're using academic. They sound like college students.
Yeah, they
sound
do.
to me.
It's really
I should have brought some paper because they were really pretty impressive to see the writing out of 5th and 6th graders. So.
And I think you'll have an opportunity to see a video of some of our classrooms utilizing some of these structures during the day in March.
Oh, great.
And we also invite you to come to our schools and visit.
But I must say, it's the coaches and the coordinators that have really helped us to move. They've transformed our district into a learning district with higher we have high standards for achievement, and the kids are meeting those standards.
Do you need these back?
Yes, please.
I
They're
know.
expensive, they came out of our budgets.
And I believe Mr. Ali has a couple of questions.
Your last statement actually leads well into my question, which is, what is the most effective aspect of the coaching and support that you receive from the district and the county office? What's the most effective?
Well, for MP Brown, there's, everything that's been there has been effective, really powerful, and almost transforming, because you can see it on the teachers' faces when we collaborate as you walk around and listen to the kids speak to each other. You know, I agree with you because, and they support their evidence. But for, I think MP Brown, going to the actual professional developments that they've had, because that is where they see their colleagues on video, not somebody different from another school district. You know, they see their colleagues on video trying these things and saying, hey, it's okay, you know, here's the first time we've ever tried this. This is what it looks like. And the kids are rising up to those occasions, and it empowers our staff to come back and try it right away, and it's great. It's that, for MP Brown, I think, is the most
Yes.
powerful.
So I agree with that, and I'd like to add, which is what the cards teach the
Builds
kids
on
to
an
do.
idea.
Build on an idea. At Westlake, you mentioned the coaching. For the teachers, we have a team of teachers that are being coached. So you have a person that comes in once a week and guides you, and side by side teaches you, oh, well, you could do this here. And so the teachers are in the moment teaching and changing their delivery right on the spot with another set of eyes to support that. And the same thing for principals too. When we walk around with a coach, I think they're noticing things that maybe we don't see because we're there every day, and then how to approach it with teachers. So it's been really valuable.
All right. And then what's the biggest challenge, and how can we support you?
Technology. That, you know, that is obviously, we're moving as a district toward that. I mean, we have the committee, you know, but I think that's going to be our challenge, and in the future, probably for the little ones, keyboarding, you know, getting
Yeah.
more on keyboarding.
And I'd say more opportunities for more teachers to be coached, and I think that our district coaches are really, they have a lot to do, and I think it would be nice to have other coaches, because I think that's how instruction changes in the classroom. And I've just read and seen that when you have a coach for a couple of years, you take it on, and then that spreads. And so I think coaching really builds the capacity of a school.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of questions. The first part, if you could remind us what the metrics are as a school is designated as program improvement. And if I'm correct, the criteria of these metrics get steeper and steeper as you go into program improvement year 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Correct.
And as
Correct.
a second part of that, as being in the middle of the shift to Common Core standards, does it become an apples to apples comparison of improvement, or is it?
It's not going to be.
So
we
then
don't
that's
know
basically-
yet. You want to touch that?
So if you do part 1 as a primer, what are the metrics used in program improvement? 2, and then does it become like is it a fair comparison on year 4 versus how it was year 1
So,
in the middle of the Common Core shift?
right, so we don't know what the program improvement is going to look like, if it's going to be called the same thing when Smarter Balance and the Common Core is assessed and we're accountable to it, so we're not sure what that's going to look like. But in current, or what it was before they eliminated the CST, it was the CST was the criteria, how they measured success in a school. And so,
Safe harbor standard.
Safe harbor, and so it was having a certain percentage of students increasing, not only overall, so all students, but also different student groups, ethnicity as well as low income,
Right.
English learners. And I believe your schools were very close to meeting the targets, but if you want to.
So the first year, we made Safe Harbor. So we have to make it 2 years in a row. So the second year, we worked really hard. I mean, we looked at all our groups, we had everything pinned, we felt great. We missed it by 5 students in math with one subgroup. So we made 20 out of 21 targets, and that's what held us in PI. So then we moved into the next year. And so we worked really hard. We thought, okay, we're going to get the math, language arts had been fine. We're working with math. I'm putting my resource teacher, pulling kids. There's a lot of support. We go up in math. We dipped a little bit in language arts.
We both
So
had the
it's
same.
that. So I think both of us are schools that are strong, over 800 schools, 840,
34.
Yeah, and so I think we're strong. We're really proud about that. But when you have a very specific target with a very specific group, we were looking at our Latinos, our African American, never thinking that 5 Filipino students wouldn't make it in math one year. And
Or they
it was
went from
slightly, when you looked at their scores, 348, and the cutoff was 350. So it was really now? It was just really, so, I think it's an opportunity to be program improvement because it makes us really look at it, how we deliver lessons, and that's what we want.
Question. A few meetings ago, someone was presenting statistics on student improvement, and the English learners had a significant improvement. At the low end were African American students, so I want to know, what are we doing? And this just extends as a district. What are we doing to help elevate that?
So I know at our school, we really work on building relationships so that they have a mentor teacher. We also extend ourselves to the families so that they do participate in our parent nights, our welcome back to school nights. And, I think our kids are doing well. We had I think we had 10, I can't remember right now, but we had 6 or 7 that were proficient. So I was really proud of that, and we've really nurtured them and encouraged them. So
Yeah, we had 75% of our African American students pass. But what you're now comparing is, it's not individual schools, it's as a district, because we don't have that population at one school that would be large enough for them to take the numbers, but as a district we do. So as a district, we have all planned to look at our African American students, our English learners, our Latino students, and figure out how we can help our students, what need do they have? Are they students being pulled out of class? Are they students that are always getting in trouble? Why is this happening? Ben Franklin is doing a series for African American parents, and our schools feed into Ben Franklin, so I've been telling my students' parents to go. And, we've had 1 out of 4 go, but you know what? 1 out of 4, we're pushing for more, but I think
So,
that's a
yeah,
help in the
and
district.
Mr. Waters, I think we've discussed this before, but when we look at this data, we see that in one given year, we may not have met our target with our African American students, and so it is a very small population in our district, and 1 or 2 students can really affect it. So what we do on a regular basis, we look at the students who've been with us for 2 years, for 3 years, and when we look at the students who've been in our system 2 or more years, we do see a greater sense of achievement. Students that are moving up, that are making progress, that are reaching proficiency. It is a small population and it's a transient population. So any given year we lose at least 10% because they're 8th graders, right? So 10% leaves, 10% come in, so you automatically have a 10% shift. Plus those families who move out and move in. So all of those students, when we look at it as a whole, we don't make the target, and so that's not good enough for us. So we look, how about the kids who've been with us 2 or more years, 3 years? And we've determined, at least in the last couple of years, that we have made progress with those students. So it pays to stay, I guess.
See it through.
I have one more question. It's related to what Mr. Otadi brought up, and this probably for Bernie, for Mr. Vidalez or Ms. McCulick. Is there a plan to deal with the limbo situation? I mean, are we going to just have to wait the 2 or 3 years, or is there any talk or rumors about doing something about that? Because it kind of doesn't make sense.
Well, we have our own district assessments, so we know how students are progressing, and parents will know through progress reports and report cards. So we do have our own way of measuring student growth. And
Right.
it's curriculum embedded right now. Next year, we will have Smarter Balance, and we will have results. We're not going to be able to compare it to CST, but we will have results and to see how students are doing.
So so I guess when that happens, we'll know if there's even going to be a such thing called PI, or program improvement.
Yeah,
or-
we have to wait for the state to tell us, but we will have
We'll have
ways.
We're doing
it's
something.
called different.
Something equally irrational with a new name. With a new name.
There's money to
Okay.
go with it.
If there are no further
Well,
questions, oh, did you have some?
I just want, I'm not going to ask a question, I'm just going to make a comment. I just want to thank you both for, you're in the PI year 4, and you're so excited about what you're doing. And that's got to make it successful. I mean, it's got to make
We're
it
getting lots
work.
of training and
Yeah,
and in service.
yeah, but I
and that's
mean,
wonderful.
just watching you, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
how excited I am, you know? And then I'll just make the comment that, you know, years ago, teachers didn't have help. And they got into the classroom, and it was like, sink or swim. And so we started this little buddy program thing, and it helped a little. But what we're doing now with the coaches is really bringing things
Very
up where it
powerful.
belongs, and it's powerful. And it also helps the teachers, and it really, well, it helps the students, of course. But I just want to say that I'm really happy to hear all this stuff that's happening, because it really feels good. It feels like we're really trying to help our students be where they should be. And we also have to, when we look at these scores, and we talked about students coming and going, we have a lot of students living in apartments. They do come and go. A lot of families that just move away. So sometimes the scores are just not what they are from year to year, but they're the best they can be compared of what you've got there. So I know when I go to the classrooms, I see children learning, and that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
Test? Ugh, no. But, you know, I just have to thank everyone who's putting their energy and self into and being excited and helping each other, because being alone doesn't make it work, and being together really helps. And Melinda, thank you,
Yes.
because you guys are really working hard.
Thank you.
Is it you hiding back?
We had yeah.
For all our coaches.
So thank you for your support and your belief in our teachers that do work really, really
Oh,
hard.
they do. They do.
And thank you very much for coming tonight and
Thank you.
waiting patiently
mind
to
if we-
do the presentation. We understand
No.
completely. Okay,
So this is an action item to accept their school single
That's
plans for
right.
student achievement.
I'll make a motion that we accept their single plan for student achievement,
for MP Brown and
P.
Westlake
Brown and
Elementary.
Westlake Elementary.
Second
Second.
motion.
Okay, have a second and a third, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, glad you reminded me, all of that, I forgot that we had
Yeah.
business there, not just exciting information. Okay, brings us business and financial procedures. Item 3, Resolution 14-02-26A, adoption of school facilities fee. We opened our meeting with the public hearing on this change on the school facilities fee, and this is our opportunity to approve the resolution to increase that fee.
I make a motion that we adopt the resolution 14-02-26A, adoption of school facilities fee.
Second the motion?
All right, all those in favor?
I have a
Aye.
Gotta call
discussion.
roll call.
Oh, it is a roll call, you're right.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
have
I
a roll call.
Do we have a-
could also ask a question.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So
Before
my
we get to that.
one question. The funds that are, so if I'm correct, this is for new residential and commercial construction.
Correct.
Yes, and that new residential can also include like additions to a home.
And then the fees that are generated at $3.36 per square foot on commercial and 54 cents per square foot on residential, that goes to capital improvement, not to the general fund.
It does not go to the general fund. What it goes to is improvements to help house additional students.
Great.
All right.
Good questions.
If there are no further questions, we do have a motion and a second, and we do need a roll call vote on that.
Mr. Otidy?
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela?
Aye.
Mr. Ali?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Aye.
Dr. Douglas?
Aye. Okay. We already had our Bond Oversight Committee report. So that brings us to Section 4, certificated personnel. We have certificated resignations, which make me very sad. As we have resignations from Michael Moore, English Language Arts teacher Fernando Rivera, and Ariel Spusta, third grade teacher at JFK, a pair of really great teachers. But they have lives to move on with.
I'll make a motion that we approve the acceptance of their resignations. Is it for retirement, one of them? No?
No,
No.
these are just
Oh,
resignations.
Okay, just resignations. As listed here, and that, is it,
They do get
like
letters.
to say that I think they deserve to receive a recognition,
Yeah,
resolution
and that is in
for their
that part.
service.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
And I wish them both the best in their next endeavors. Make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, we have Section 5, classified personnel. We have a retirement.
It already happened, isn't
Nope, not yet.
it? Not quite.
Retirement request from Mary Moto, Senior Clerk Typist, Special Ed Department. And she has been with our district. This will be effective June 30th this year, 2014. She has been with our district since September of 1988.
Wow.
I did count out on my fingers, and I think I came up with 26 years. So she definitely deserves some commendation.
I'll make a motion that we approve her letter of retirement, Mary Moda, effective June 30th, 2014, and that an appropriate resolution honoring her for her years of service to the district.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second that motion.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And since Hans Hansen isn't here to say it, I hope she enjoys retirement as much as Hans does.
I'd like to ask a
I'm semi-retired.
member of the audience a question. Bob, how many years you been here? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's
Very-
going for the world
A
record.
dedicated.
Not counting your years as a student, Mr. Ricky. Surely you're not that age. You're so young.
He started young.
Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
And that brings us to board policies.
We actually made it.
We have board policies back for a second reading. Is there any discussion, issues, or anything else with regard to these board policies?
So
I don't have any.
Just going to accept the ones that are in red already. Yeah. I don't think I wrote
So
anything
I
about
was satisfied.
these were boring. Oops.
If nobody has any thoughts, issues, or objections, then I would say we could, I will make a motion that we accept the second reading, which is the final reading.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have reports. We have you down here to have Ms. Brizuela go first, and then Mr. Waters, but you guys have any objections? Okay.
Well, too late.
Too late, there we are. Okay, great.
No, you can do it, because I have to concentrate when I'm talking. No. Do you mind? Okay. Okay. First of all, just to say that I went to the conference, and I went to so many sessions, it was hard to decide which one to report on, but I do have information for the board members on the other ones that I'm not reporting. Okay, on this one, and I want to thank Maria. Maria, thank you for putting that little faucet in there for me.
It's adorable.
And everything else. Okay, water in schools compliance, making water the healthy choice. And I won't read all the presenters, but we had everybody from every walk of life there. Second page, Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010. President Obama signed the Healthy Free Kids Act of 2010 into law. SB 1413 by Mark Leno from San Francisco, which is in the Education Code Section 38086, is free water must be available within the food service area where meals are served or consumed, and that was passed on July 1st, 2011. This applies to all public schools and charter schools and schools that are on the National School Lunch Program. And any of the other schools that are not, they're kind of invited or encouraged to do the same thing. Next. Studies on water access in schools. Okay, now this is studies that this group did, so it doesn't necessarily belong to us. It's us. But interventional studies suggest that water provision in schools may prevent obesity, dental and other health problems, and cognition. They feel that the more water that you drink, the more that you're able to absorb everything. Okay? Is it funny?
I'm sorry, no. There was a typo there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will say that my computer was totally out of whack for several days, and so was the printer, and I did the best I could, and if there's a typo, please excuse that. Most schools do not have water available. Wait a minute, excuse me. I'm going to get interrupted. I have to get back on track. When schools do have appropriate and sufficient water for their students, many students do not drink the water available. Part of that is because they just don't drink water sometimes. Most schools do not have water available in the key locations, including the food service areas. Non-fountain sources of water that may appeal to students are uncommon in schools. A lot of our students are used to having bottled water. Not necessarily do they always want to go to a faucet. Next. Recommendations for school districts. Make appealing water accessible, available, and visible to students during meals and throughout the day, and encourage the parents and students to drink water. Although you do see a lot of people walking around with bottles of water all the time. In fact, we have it up here. School districts must ensure that fountain water is clean and operable for students to use. I know there's been some complaints that at some of the facilities, maybe a faucet is broken or maybe dirty and children won't use it. Next. Parent recommendations for water. This is a survey that parents put together too. They would like to see that we provide students and employees with access to clean, safe, potable drinking water free of charge at every district facility, including cafeteria, eating areas, classrooms, hallways, play yards, and athletic fields, as well as faculty lounges throughout the school day and before and after school activities when children probably will really need to have water. Allow students to bring drinking water from home and to take water into the classroom, provided that the water is in a capped container, such as a bottle, to prevent spills. Encourage all school administrators, teachers, and other staff members to model drinking water. And we probably do, so this isn't a reflection of our district. Perform maintenance on all water fountains regularly and as needed. Additionally, no beverages may contain additives, including colors, flavors, herbs, vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, stimulants like caffeine. Bingo. Next page. Summation. This issue is mandated and expected by the parents. Districts may partner with their PTAs, community groups, or seek grants to comply with SB 1413 and the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010, because some districts really have a really hard time being able to furnish the proper water for children when it's an extra expense. Districts are encouraged to have a program to make student, and I shouldn't use the word make, I took some of this and made it smaller than it was, to encourage students and parents to be aware of the importance of drinking water for better health. I had to do this fast, I only have 10 minutes. Next. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to highlight was what I learned is the 2013 legislation and case law highlights. Under local control funding formula, all district stakeholders will have a role in ensuring that the budget is created and spent to address the 8 statewide educational priorities through the local control and accountability plan, which we're working on. The Common Core state standards will emphasize thinking instead of testing skills, depth of knowledge instead of breadth of subjects, and to allow for truly differential learning plans based on each student's answers to questions on a smartly balanced new test. which you guys are all preparing for, and I know we're going to do a great job. Accountability. Districts may not place students in continuation schools as disguised punishment. I think that's really for the high school districts. But the other thing they do discuss is that, and they're trying to make some policy now, is to not suspend children for small violations because they are missing their education. And more so now, they're going to need to be there for the new Common Core. And also, just, there's times when we can make that better decision and have them do something like pick up the paper at school after school. Okay, bids for construction projects must include California contractor license number of every subcontractor. What happens is when we get the big contractor, the main contractor, they've got all the license, but sometimes when they bring in the subcontractors, they don't have it. Now it's going to be mandated, and it has to be. Capital appreciation bonds are limited in scope, and the total debt service to principal, that's an error. It should be ratio, we'll take off the N, cannot exceed 4-to-1. Next. Specific timelines are mandated for independent audits of proposition, I think it's supposed to be 39, I'm so sorry, bond fund expenditures. The Fair Political Practice Commission can seek civil damages up to $10,000 per violation of any conflict of interest laws, thanks to the cities of Vernon and Bell that you've read in the paper. Transparency. The Brown Act will require a report of each board member's vote, roll call, on every open session board action. So we no longer can say aye to each other, or no.
Yeah, we received an opinion from our county council and says as long as the minutes reflect the individual vote, we may do voice call-out votes. We don't need to do member by member.
Okay,
That was his
there's a
opinion.
reason why they put roll call, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll make sure it's not put into the, if it's listed in a,
But you'll notice that as of January 1st, all of our minutes have how each board member voted.
oh, well, they
Mostly-
always have, haven't they?
Nope. Before it's been unanimous or.
Oh, no,
it's,
no, yeah, no, it's supposed to be
So
all.
now it lists.
We used to do it always, but, okay. Well, be sure that we check that out, because they definitely said to us, roll call.
Yes.
A roll call is each of us being called. But I thank you for sharing that. Protection and security. Districts may not discriminate or retaliate against and must provide reasonable safety accommodations to victims of stalking, and may not discriminate on the basis of citizenship and immigration status, military or veteran status, and veteran status. Students must be allowed to participate in sex-segregated activities and use facilities based on their gender identity. Next. Welfare, health and welfare. New laws will protect foster youth and allow homeless students 14 years and older access to the records. Homeless students will qualify as, quote, residents and be able to participate in local sports and interscholastic activities. Quite often, in order to participate in some of the park and rec, you have to be a resident. So they are allowed to be called residents. School boards may authorize instruction on violence, awareness, and protection. Students may be disciplined for bullying based on electronic act created and transmitted off campus, as we have read in the paper of some disasters. Next. No, number 12 is the end of that portion. Okay, let me just read the rest to you, because we didn't get that on there. Okay, while a lot of this doesn't sound like it is, quote, education, it's part of our responsibility. So it was good to hear all that.
That's why we update our board policies all the time.
Yes, I know. So I did get this whole thing, I totally paraphrased this and put it shorter, but in here it has each individual, all the different assembly bills and Senate bills that brought all this change. So I will be giving this to Maria to make copies for all of you, if you haven't received that. I don't know if you got it when you went to the conference or not, but, okay, so the other things is, that I went to is engaging your community with a successful local education foundation. And they really presented, you may have a foundation, it may be small, maybe it's not really blooming, but you can build on that, or you can start, those that don't have it, start from the beginning. And they said the success of foundation is to have professional community members on the foundation and to not always rely on just the parents to carry the burden, as they are already supporting local schools, PTA, and classroom activities. So the need for corporate sponsors to be able to fund programs and other needs for the school. And then it just told us all how you go about it. Okay, so I'm not going to go into that. Linked learning was really interesting to me, although it really was geared to high school, but it said innovative approach to prepare students for both college and career by connecting learning in the classroom with the real-world applications in the workplace. While this program is geared for high school students, elementary districts should also prepare students in the middle schools by going back to what we had years ago, if we possibly can ever make it, is by having electives which would promote career-minded things like cooking, sewing, woodshop, art, dance, sports, and this would prepare our middle school students to be able to continue these courses when they get to high school. And then two legislations that I picked out of this little book here that I wanted to kind of mention to you was AB 246 by Assemblyman Bradford, and it authorizes local agencies to meet with the governor in closed session on matters posing a threat to the security of public buildings, public services, and or public right of access to public services or public facilities. And I thought that was strange. I thought the governor would always be invited to come into meetings, but now he's allowed to do so under those things. On AB 56 Weber, Assemblyman Weber, requires a State Farm, and this really stood in my heart dearly, requires State Fire Marshal to develop standards for carbon monoxide devices and to propose by July 1st, 2015, standards for adoption by the California Building Standards Commission for the installation of carbon monoxide devices in public and private school buildings that meet specific criteria. And I think it's really important. And the Colma Fire Department actually got those types of devices and fire alarms and went around and gave it, or actually asked for people to call them, or they dropped by the house and gave them 3 free ones to each house in Broadmoor. That's 1,170 homes, to make sure that they were well protected. And we probably should do the same if we're not already. Okay, I attended a session regarding a Proposition 39 about charter schools, and that was really very enlightening. And a lot of things that I knew a lot about. I thought I knew a lot about charter schools, but I found out a lot. I know a lot more now. And that I won't go into, but I will share that with each of the board members. So if I made my time, I think I heard a bit. Bingo. Any questions?
I look forward to seeing some of that.
Thanks for
Thank you.
the information.
Talk so fast, you probably didn't even hear what I said.
No, I paid attention.
I need one. No, I mean, how to concentrate on that.
Bottled drinking water, right?
So you know I listened when I
When
went
you
there.
said that,
Do it
every
on cue.
person here,
What?
after you
Oh.
said that, everybody reached for their
I know. I went like this. I saw you.
It reminded us that it's a good thing to do.
Now I'm thirsty. Thank God I got the water.
That's right. There you go. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that
Thank you, Maria.
presentation. And Mr. Waters.
A lot of information. It was hard to bring up something to present from the meeting because we went over everything again at our meeting.
The governance workshop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So some of the things that I took away from the meeting was really the teamwork aspect when she talked about, and the presenters talked about working as a team and being able to function and understanding that we're not always gonna agree the same way, but to be able to function beyond that. And that's where you really see a strong team. That was one piece. But the other piece that I really was interested in, and I made contact with some of the other board members